Being consistently imperfect is better than being inconsistently perfect. And once I realized this, how I show up started to completely change. Our theme for March is all about leaning into imperfection. And I have a feeling that a lot of perfectionists out there might really need and enjoy this episode. Our theme for March is all about leaning into imperfection. And if you're a perfectionist out there like myself, this episode is for you. Welcome back to the Self-Love Archives podcast. I'm your host, Julia Salvia, your self-love bestie. We're talking about something today that is so close to my day-to-day. I don't even want to say my heart, just my day-to-day. Being a perfectionist is not something I'm really proud of. It's not something that really has helped me in life. Quite frankly, I think being a perfectionist has made life a lot harder for me. Perfectionism doesn't make you better, it makes you stuck. It puts you in a place where you are stuck and you can't go anywhere and you can't do anything because all you're trying to be is perfect. Everything that you're trying to put out into the world is perfect. Every single time you look in the mirror, you're expecting perfect. What you do at your job, how you act every single day. We are always striving for perfection. Why? What even is perfect? Can you define anything or anyone as perfect in your entire life? No, I didn't think so. Because even if you think you could, you probably couldn't share the entire story. There is no such thing as perfect. If we continue to be perfectionists, we are going to strive again and again and again for something that just isn't attainable. Something that I actually don't think you even want to be attainable. Something that even if it was, I don't think you would want to have it. I think perfection a lot of times is disguised as high standards. Perfectionism can look really productive and really responsible, ambitious. It can look like you have high drive. Perfectionism could be about excellence, like getting straight A's in school. Underneath perfectionism is fear. Point blank. It's fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged, fear of not having it all together, fear of not being perfect, fear of getting it wrong, fear of being seen before you're ready. I find for me that my perfectionism is so heavily rooted in not feeling good enough. That every single time I strive for something to be perfect in my life, whether that's with my body, my work, the things that I say, I think that it's not good enough. I'm striving for perfection because I don't want someone to see what it really is. I don't want someone to think that I'm not good enough. I don't want someone to look at my work and think that it's not good enough. I don't want to look in the mirror and think that my body is not good enough. My perfectionism is so rooted in not feeling good enough that I overwork myself. I over-explain myself. I do too much in order to make up for the potential for there to be any lack. It's kind of like overproductiveness. So getting something to 100%, but then adding in something else. Doing this one thing and then adding something else to it. Doing that, and that because I want everything to be perfect. Being perfect is a sense of control. Having perfectionism is basically this form of control over the things that happen in your life, or trying to have control over the things that happen in your life. It does not matter how perfect something is because of two things. You will always be good enough, and everything that you create and do is always good enough. You are good enough as you are in this moment today. And second, it does not matter how perfect something is. Anyone and everyone is going to perceive it however they want to, whether they perceive it as perfect or not perfect, or good enough or not good enough. That's not on you. And I need you to really understand that. How someone perceives something, how they perceive you, that is not within your control. That is not up to you. And that is none of your business. That is all on them. So to think that we can use this perfectionism, or we can make something perfect for it to be good enough in the eyes of others, is so out of our control that it almost is a waste of our time and energy. And truly, in most cases, just leads to burnout anyway. I know that you mean well. I know that when it comes to perfectionism, you truly just want everything to go over well. You want everything to just be good. But I also know that you're just avoiding the potential for discomfort. If you haven't checked out our self-love book club for March, we are reading Burnout. And this theme for March ties perfectly in with this book, because I think that a lot of our burnout comes from feeling not good enough, comes from trying to be perfect all the time. We do so much that it leads us to just completely burning out, that we don't even have the time for anything else, that we don't even have the time to put any energy into anything. If you're interested in joining our self-love book club, we have opened up a subscription so that you can be a part of the self-love book club community on Instagram. All of the details are linked in the description down below. This is such an amazing community to not just connect on the book, but to connect with each other. There are so many offerings in this subscription, including first access to our book of the month and a live video where we get to connect with each other every single month on our theme, our book, and our topic for the month. I am so excited to see how this community grows in 2026, and I am so excited for you to be a part of something so special. Someone said something to me that completely changed my mindset on perfectionism. My 60, 70, 80% is someone else's 100%. And that was so incredibly eye-opening for me. I am a perfectionist in more ways than one in my life. But I started to realize, because I have an employee, I have someone that works for me, and we do a lot of work together, but it's very collaborative. If I don't get my work done, she can't do hers, and vice versa. And I noticed that a lot of my tasks that I was trying to complete and trying to do for my own business, I was procrastinating on them. I was getting stuck working on them for days at a time. I was working on a project all day long for an excess amount of hours because I was trying to make it perfect. Or I was waiting to work on a project because I didn't have the outline in my head. I wasn't ready to work on it. Both of these forms of procrastination and forms of perfectionism. I was letting my perfectionism get in the way of actually being productive. And if I wasn't self-aware enough to notice this, I would think that I was just working really hard on a project or just didn't have the passion to do it. And neither of those things were true. I was overworking myself and not working smart. I was pushing this piece that I'm working on beyond what it really even needed to be for people to actually feel the value from it. I thought that I just didn't have the passion to do it. Perfectionists chronically underestimate their own baseline. You're sitting here thinking that something you're creating or something you're doing isn't good enough, and everybody's looking at you in awe. Everyone's looking at what you're doing and what you're creating in awe. They're wondering how you balance it all, how you do it all. What feels unfinished might be more than enough for someone else. And I think these words can be kind of hard to hear because you might be hearing me right now thinking, well, that's not good enough for me. I have really high standards for myself, for my career, for my business, for my job, for my friends, for my relationships. And I totally get that. I'm not telling you to throw away your boundaries, to not live up to expectation. Like, I am telling you, though, that constantly trying to be perfect, trying to make something perfect, or make someone perfect, or make a situation perfect, like that is holding you back. When I decided to let this perfectionism go and just get something 80% perfect, I was able to complete so much more. I was able to do so much more. I was able to let go of my procrastination, whether it was actively, productively procrastinating, or it was literally just procrastinating and pushing something farther and farther away. I know that you would much rather have had done something and it be imperfect than not do something because it wasn't perfect. I want you to think back in this moment to everything that you have ever done that was imperfect and ask yourself if you regret it. And I bet you 99 times out of 100, you don't. You will never regret imperfect action, but you will regret not acting at all because it wasn't perfect the first time. I have been striving for 80% perfect. When I let that pressure go and that expectation go, it felt so much more free to actually create and to do the things that I needed to do. There's no such thing as the perfect mood, the perfect time, the perfect version. The perfect everything is right now. Perfectionism doesn't make things better, it just delays things. It delays building connections and relationships. It delays projects and work. Perfectionism delays you becoming a better version of yourself. Perfectionism not only delays, but I think completely stops self-love. How can you love yourself if you are always expecting things to be perfect? I have a really amazing quote here, actually from our January book club book. It is A Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. It has stuck with me so much. Let me read it for you. When you only find happiness in peace after you've fixed every flaw, mastered every challenge, but have not resolved anything, you have just reinforced the idea that you cannot be okay until everything is perfect. What a freaking quote. You change your life when you start showing up exactly as you are. You change your life when you start showing up exactly as you are. If today feels like a 20% kind of day, if you just show up at 20%, that's better than not showing up at all. If you show up at 60%, 80%, 90%, 5%, that's better than not showing up at all. Consistent imperfection. Consistently showing up exactly as you are in work, in relationships, with yourself is better than inconsistently trying to be perfect. It is so brave and courageous to show up imperfectly, to make it a point to show up knowing that it's okay if it's imperfect. Not only is showing up imperfectly powerful, but done is powerful. Doing something is powerful. Consistent imperfect action builds momentum to the bigger things, for the bigger picture. And when you keep doing that, that builds confidence and trust and continues to help you push to be more actionable, to do more. and to be totally and irrevocably okay with failing when things are imperfect, when some asshole has something to say, because all that really mattered at the end of the day is that you showed up, you completed it, you did it. And that is more worth talking about than all of the times you didn't because it wasn't perfect enough, because it wasn't good enough. Chasing this external version of perfect just drives us farther and farther away from ourselves. When we start to see ourselves exactly as we are, we start to have the confidence to show up exactly as we are. We start to step into our power. We start to be exactly who we are, imperfect everything. This month, I want you to choose imperfection. I want you to lean into imperfection. I want you to continue, if you haven't already, I want you to continue to show up imperfectly. Choose imperfection on purpose, whether that looks like aiming for 80%, setting deadlines instead of standards, and letting something be good enough, and just see what happens. There's something really deeply self-loving about being human, about just being. There's something about loving yourself exactly as you are right now that is freeing, is confidence building, is so full of self-love. If perfection is holding you back, let this be the month that you loosen your grip and start to let perfection go. Stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be present, consistent, and brave enough to show up exactly as you are. This is going to be a hard one for me too, guys. I'm telling you. But I feel like I've really made it a point in 2026 to let go of this perfectionism and just be. Doesn't mean to be any less or not have standards or not have boundaries. It just means that sometimes showing up is better than not showing up at all. I want you to know how proud of you I am. We are on the third month of 2026, and I am so lucky to have you here. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I cannot wait. Oh, I cannot wait until the end of 2026, and we all look back at this year, and we're just like, wow. We are so enthralled and like impressed with ourselves because we are so much stronger and so much powerful and so much more full of love. I will see you back here next week, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Have the most beautiful week ever. And stop letting perfectionism get in your way. Mwah.